So Jamie, thanks for letting us swing by. Obviously we want to talk about the 4-1 South Coast Derby win back in 2010. You got the fourth goal, so
Yep.
very much the cherry on the icing on the cake. I mean, that must have been some moment when the ball hit the back of the net. What did it feel like?
Oh, it was incredible. I remember that game being a huge game. And obviously, we fancied ourselves. We had a good side. And it was the first kind of derby that I'd played in for Portsmouth, and I didn't realise how big it was. And when I scored, it was a fantastic moment because the performance of the team that day was incredible, one of the best I've ever seen in terms of a game that I've played in. So yeah, ecstatic and emotional was one of them ones to take away from it.
It wasn't in front of the Pompey fans, unfortunately, but you must have been able to hear the roar from the away end.
Oh yeah, I mean, one thing I've always loved was the fans are incredible there. I had so much good support from them, and we had support home and away, and especially in that game, it was such a big game, massive derby, and everyone at the club was just so ecstatic that we'd been able to do that for the fans, because it was a big moment.
In terms of the goal itself, you were the one that started the move and then you sprinted the length of the pitch to get on the other end of it. How did you do that in the 85th minute? Were your legs not giving out at that stage?
Oh mate, I don't know, because the legs have definitely gone since then. That was when I could actually get about the pitch. So I just remembered it dropping in down, tight little area, 3 or 4 of them round me, and I kind of just managed to get it out of my feet, play the ball to the outside of my foot. I think it was it Bell Hadj? Yeah, got up there and he crossed it in, picky on. He was really good that day, he was brilliant. Set it back to me and I just hit it on the half volley. Just being able to break lines and break play was definitely something I enjoyed doing at that age.
Hara again coming out with the ball. It's another Portsmouth counter-attack and it's Bell Hadj on the move again. And it's 4 against 3 here momentarily. Bell Hadj with the cross. Owusu Abe. Hara, 4 for Portsmouth. Devastating break. Jamie O'Hara.
And after that game, the run continued and you made it all the way to Wembley. What an achievement that was. You must have been so proud as a squad.
I mean, for me, it was the best achievement I've ever had in football. It was incredible what we did that season in terms of the turmoil that was going on and, the stuff that was happening at the club. It was really hard to put in performances week in, week out. But what we did togetherness and as a club and with the fans to get to the cup final, incredible achievement, something I hold so close to my heart and still talk about today.
And as you mentioned, the club was in a bit of a difficult patch off the pitch at the time. So when that South Coast Derby came around, did you see that as a real sort of opportunity to put a smile back on the fans' faces?
Yeah, it was massive. That was one thing that we said before the game. I remember in the change room leading up to that match, it was all about, let's do this one for the fans, let's get behind them, let's give them something to cheer about, because at the end of the day, it was a difficult time for everyone there, and the performances in the Premier League were, not going well for us, and that moment was, a big thank you to the fans for showing the support. And the great thing is they still talk about it now. I still get tweets about it now, and I still talk to fans about it now. It's such an incredible moment.
On the day at half time, I'm not sure many of the fans would have seen the 4-1 coming because it was goalless at the break. What was said at half time to spark that flurry of goals?
I think looking at it, I think we played well. We had some good chances in the first half. I think we was dominating possession. We were playing some good football. I think what I remember was just be patient, keep going. We've got more legs than them. We've got better players. So we just knew if we got one, we could have gone 2 or 3. And once we got one, we just kind of really kicked on there. And the confidence come into the side. The pressure was off us. And you end up just enjoying moments like that and you just embrace it and everything just seems to happen.
As you alluded to there, Portsmouth were in the Premier League at the time, Southampton in League One. So going into the game, was there any pressure on you at all? Because, Southampton were the underdogs.
No, I think it was, you always have pressure in games like that because it's a derby, and whatever league you're in, if you're in League One, in the Prem, them games are still tough. They're still not easy games to play in, and they're going to give their heart and soul. They're going to put everything into it, and we was away. We knew that their fans would be behind them. We knew it would be a tough atmosphere. So there was always pressure on games like that, but we knew that we had the better players and we knew that we had the ability to go and win that game like we did.
And of course, inevitably, there's always going to be more media attention. The build-up is massive to these games. So did it surpass your expectations when you did get out there on the pitch, having heard all you did?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. It's one of them games that you never forget. You probably, in a career, you probably have 5 to 10 games that you really remember and you look back on with real fond memories, and that is definitely in probably my top 5 games that I've ever played in, and ones that I'm really proud to be a part of.
And you've played in North London derbies before, so the South Coast derby, how does that compare? Because we like to think it's up there with the best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the fans are amazing. You know, Portsmouth have always been like that every game. You know, he's always get behind the team, win, lose or draw. I remember we got beat by Arsenal once in that season, and I think we got beat 5-0, and the fans were clapping us off the pitch. Fans have always been incredible there. That's why I love that club so much. And yeah, that for me is a derby. I didn't realise how big it was until I played in it, and then I realised how much it meant to everyone, that game.
And next Tuesday we go through it all over again in the Carabao Cup. You'll know all about how good the atmosphere is at Fratton Park. Do you think that's going to make a big impact on the game? A
massive impact. You know, obviously now the tables have turned a bit. You know, now Southampton's the Premier League club, and they'll probably go into that game you're thinking they're confident to go into it. But you know, when you're at home at Fratton Park with the fans behind you, and you know, when they get going and you're tight, you're close in on the pitch, you can it can be a tough atmosphere, and I guarantee that Kenny Jackett will have them team ready to go, raring to play, and it'll be a fantastic game.
And just finally, Jamie, obviously you're a busy man these days, first team manager. Are you going to be able to watch the game at all? Oh
yeah, for sure. You know, if I can't watch it live, then I'll record it, because it's one of them games that you look back on as yourself that I've played in and been part of. So I always like to sit back and watch them, and I always look at Portsmouth's results. Always keep a close eye on how they're doing as a team, because I think it's a fantastic club with fantastic people there, and you know, it's one of them clubs where I look back in your career and I was really proud to be part of it.
Jamie, great to talk to you. Thank you for
your time.
Pleasure,
mate. Pleasure.